Ice stop. Ice what?
Whoa, whoa, baby, poke it out, poke it out, poke it out.
What is up, everyone? So it's been a while since I actually sat down and recorded a video. A couple of days ago I put out a mix because I have been at a loss of content since free agency not ended but dwindled, you know. So here we are. We have another thing to leech off of, and that is, of course, the NFL draft. Now, a lot of people have been confused as to what the Saints are going to do without, one, having a first-round pick, and two, without having anything in the third, fourth round. So there are a lot of issues to be seen by the common eye, but when you take a look into what they can get and the potential within this draft, there's a lot more than just garbage in the later rounds. You understand? Like, it's a lot better than people think, and our situation is not dire, okay? So I'm going to go off why the Saints are not screwed because of their draft picks. And before you watch, no, sorry, this is not a mock draft. I'm still doing homework on our mock draft. Like I told y'all, I do not pay attention to college football, and that always screws me when it gets to this time of year because, of course, this is the draft. The players come from college. I got to know them. So I'm doing homework, seeing who we can pick, throwing out a bunch of ideas and trying to figure things out, and I will get you guys that mock draft by either this weekend or the upcoming Tuesday. You'll get it, I promise. But until then, we're going to talk about why the Saints are not screwed by this draft. Let's get into it. So the first thing I'm going to look at that applies to pretty much any team in the NFL is the unpredictability of players within the NFL draft. These are college players. We never know what they're going to turn into. There are busts, there are booms, there are players who exceed or perform exactly how expected. Nobody knows how players are going to perform. Just because they're not a big name does not mean they're not going to have a breakout NFL career. Who was Tom Brady before the draft? I don't know either. I had to go ahead and shut the laundry room door. I did not realize it was that loud and open. I am so sorry. But yeah, you can't predict how a player is going to play in the NFL right out of college. You get a slim little bare glimpse of how they will perform in the NFL, but nothing is confirmed. So you can't base a player's potential off of what number they're drafted in. Alvin Kamara was a third-round pick. Michael Thomas was a second-round pick. There are players that can just be coached into greatness, that have potential going into college but don't make a boom in college, come out into the NFL draft, get drafted late, and that potential shows. So no, it's not all about what number they get drafted at. The unpredictability of the NFL draft is rather insane. So yeah, let's get into the next reason. Before I get into the next reason though, I want to ask you guys, shameless self-promo middle through the video, please go ahead and subscribe. I have been slacking this month, not been going as hard as I was in March, that is for sure. I went crazy in March, but this is different. This is a chill month. It's April. Nothing's really going on but the draft at the end of the month, so we're chilling. I have a lot of testing and all that, so go ahead and while you're here, subscribe so you don't have to come back and do it another time. Thank you guys so much, and let's resume the video. The number 2 reason is we have a second-round pick. So what, we don't have a first-round pick. We have a second-round pick, which is our 62 pick in the NFL draft. There can be a lot done with that. Our head coaches and our front office have been very, 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 very good at evaluating talent. I don't think it's really luck because you don't strike gold that many times. They are really good at evaluating talent, and that has showed. Michael Thomas, Kamara, all these players, Von Bell, Marcus Williams, all these players that we have drafted. We drafted Mark Ingram. All of these players, they work. They work. We know how to coach talent. And getting players in the second round, there can be players like Hakeem Butler, all of these players that fall deep, deep, deep into the second round, 62nd pick, that have so much potential, but people just don't know how to utilize them. That's why busts happen. I am extremely, extremely, extremely certain that we are going, if we don't trade, we're going to get a pure athlete, a solid player out of that second round pick. I'm glad. Let's move into the next one. The third and second to last reason why I think we are fine within this NFL draft is we have a pretty decent amount of picks. We really do. We have a second, 2 fifths, 2 sixths, and 2 sevenths. That's pretty good. We have a pretty good amount of picks. And like I said before, it's unpredictable. You never know. We could draft a star with every one of those picks. But, I just want to throw out the fact that we don't have a little bit of picks. We have a lot of picks, and having a lot of picks and not a lot of holes to fill, this is going to be a really, really big depth draft. A really, really, really big depth draft, which is pretty much solidifying the last thing we need to get that Lombardi. Depth. We need depth. Because once a player goes down, you're going to have a reliable rookie to turn to. Depth. That is one thing we're going to be looking for in this draft. So really, doesn't matter, but we're not screwed. Now, one of the last reasons I would like to showcase is the ability to trade draft picks. Now, does that mean that I think the Saints are going to go out and trade everything we have and get in the first round 3 times? No. But if the Saints want to, and there's a player that they want to pursue that bad, they can go ahead and put a deal on the table for another team to pick up. It's extremely interesting. Draft day is extremely interesting, and we're gonna have to find out if we decide to be ballsy, see a player we like so much that we're willing to take the chance of losing another first-round pick. We lost our first-round pick last year for trading up to draft Marcus Davenport, who this year I'm guaranteeing is going to live up to the promise that we thought he had after that injury he had last year. There's potential to trade up if the Saints decide to get ballsy, which we are a very draft ballsy team, and we are trying to win now, so it would not surprise me whatsoever if we drafted up. It literally would not surprise me a single bit if we decided to trade up. So with the ability to trade up in mind, you have to realize that just because we have a second round pick, 2 5th-round picks, 2 6th-round picks, and 2 7th-round picks, that does not mean we're staying there the entire time. We could easily trade up. We could easily trade back. There's so many things we can do. There's so much potential to this draft. And because we don't really need rookie players, it gives us more things to play around with. It gives us reason to just do whatever we want. We don't really have many holes to fill. Tight end was a big hole, filled by Jared Cook. Center was a hole, filled by Max Unger. Punt returner was a fill, pulled by Marcus Sherrills. What else? What other hole do we have to fill? Safety depth? Offensive line depth? That's depth. We don't have any legitimate holes on the offense or defense whatsoever. We have just a bunch of plays, or just a bunch of picks to play around with. We can mess around with teams, try to get some offers out of them. It's going to be a fantastic draft. I'm telling you, there's so much content here. We are not screwed. We're not. The draft is not against us. We have potential here to make a splash. With all that being said, do I think the Saints are doomed this draft? No. We have plenty of opportunity to go out there and make a splash if we want to. If we see a player we like enough, we can go ahead and reach out, try to get some trades going. And if we just see a player that falls down to us that we like, we can pick him. It's a really big, really intricate situation that it's impossible to predict. Nobody can predict the draft. The draft is impossible to predict, but we're going to try it anyway. Stay tuned. Next video, I will be posting a mock draft, either the next video or the video after. Be sure to stay tuned. It's going to come out. Let me know down below suggestions. I need suggestions. Please drop suggestions. I am one brain. I cannot think for 3,353 of you guys. I don't know what y'all want to see, so go ahead. If you have any special requests, put them down below, and I will probably consider and most likely be doing them. This video was suggested by Wyatt BDV, by the way. Shout out to my man's Wyatt. Thank you so much for suggesting the idea in my time of need. So yeah, thank you guys. I really appreciate the support, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios. Yeah, the Saints aren't screwed this draft. It's going to be fantastic. Okay, I love you guys. Bye. Goodbye. Okay, I'm gone now. Adios.